what does it mean to be a software engineer at Google? And what does it mean to be maybe a senior software engineer? How are these different, and what does that role look like day to day, and how would you define it?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because I think there's like a lot of mystique about Google software engineers, or software engineers at the level of the FANG companies. Like, what is that, and what is the day-to-day like of that, and then what is it at the more senior levels? The big thing that I noticed from coming to Google, I had a bunch of industry experience before that. The big difference at Google is you're surrounded by world-class peers. It's very common to get imposter syndrome. I'm sure you've heard of that, like this feeling of, I'm the one that doesn't belong. All these other people are so amazing. How did I slip through the cracks and get hired here? Very common thing to experience, and I experienced it throughout my entire time at Google. It did not get better after 12 years. I think I just learned to cope with it more. The day-to-day of being an engineer at Google, the first part, there's probably about a 6-month period of just learning the job, learning what your team does, learning how Google likes to write software. They have coding standards for each programming language. Like, there's a Java coding style, a Python coding style, which is a collection of things you might expect of like how they want the braces to go. But more important, it's a set of best practices. Here's how we're going to do things, and make sure you comply with that. Here's how tests need to be written, and things like that. So there's a lot more structure to it than many other companies probably have. The other thing is there's a lot of help. Everybody has been through this really difficult onboarding process where it just feels like you're drinking through the fire hose to try to learn all the core infrastructure that exists, plus the specific product that you're working on. And the thing that really struck me was how much people were willing to go out of their way to help you. So it's not sufficient to be a really smart person or a really good software engineer. You also have to be a really good team player, because that's also part of the job, is to help everybody else around you